You are up, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners are in session Tuesday, March 25th, and we get to start off with Indigent Services. Chantel.
Yes, Chantel Laulu with Indigent Services. The case that I have before you is case number 2025-0029. It's an application for cremation expenses through Wilkes Funeral Home in the amount of $1,200. The applicant is a 50-year-old significant other who is applying for the cremation of expenses for his 44-year-old significant other. It does appear that they do meet criteria to be eligible for assistance through the indigent program, and he has agreed to a $25 a month repayment plan upon approval of this request.
Okay, any questions or discussion?
I have a question, not necessarily this. This is an awkward question, but what kind of relationship? I mean, a significant other, I mean, is there any guidelines or rules on either spouses or how long or whatever? I'm just more for clarification of, you're saying it meet all the criteria. I'm just curious what that is.
So the criteria is that they are a Bannock County resident for at least 30 days, so that they've lived in Bannock County, and that's for the deceased. So according to Idaho code, the way that I understand it, and it's been explained to me by legal counsel, is that a responsible party is someone who's been married to them. It would be considered a responsible party to pay back. So with this being a significant other or fiance, he has agreed to repay the county back, but it's my understanding that he's not legally responsible to do so, but he's agreed to do so in this situation and scenario.
Down the road, is it enforceable?
I am not sure that it is.
Okay.
However, I would definitely yield to legal counsel in regards to that because I'm not sure.
Okay.
But in the agreement, he hadn't put a lien or anything on anything?
No.
So
So,
there's no
yeah,
backing.
okay.
In addition to that, we have 3 release of liens today. Case number 2019-0099, 2018-0365, and case 96-000400. And these are 2 liens that are being paid off and one that is fixing. Would you just give us a real brief
Yes.
explanation on the complicated one?
Yes, so it is a case that has been paid off. I want to say it was in 1996. However, the 2 liens were released, but there was an amendment that was made on those 2 liens that was not released, and so we are releasing the amendment to those 2 liens.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or discussion on indigent services today?
No.
Okay, I would entertain 2 motions then.
Go ahead and make a motion that we approve case 2025-0029 on the 2 liens and the amendment that you just referenced in numbers.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you, Chantel. Chief.
I'd go ahead and make a motion that we go to the Board of Ambulance.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan O'Hearn with the Bannock County Ambulance District. I'm here before you today to ask for approval of an application through the Idaho Emergency Medical Services Agency Vehicle and Equipment Grant. This is an annual grant through the EMS Bureau. This year we would like to apply for a powered system kit, which comprises a cot and a loader that will load the cot into the ambulance automatically. It's battery powered. The cost of that system is $69,989, and the maximum grant award is $40,000. We've had very good success with this Idaho EMS grant in the past, and so the district would then need to budget for the local match as part of the FY26 capital budget.
Okay, so we'll do that during the budget process.
Yeah, we intend to bring that as part of our FY26 budget bill.
Have these powered cots helped reduce injuries for our?
They have. They really have become industry standard. We have them throughout our fleet, and most other agencies that I see have them installed as well. They do reduce back strains because the cot itself is powered, and so they're not as labor intensive to lift. And then one of the most probably precarious times comes when you're loading the cot into the ambulance, because you're taking the structure out from underneath it to slide it in. But this does it automatically, so we feel like it's safer for the provider and for the patient.
So what restrictions do you have? Can you get that into every place? I mean, what about stairs?
Yeah, so we, even with the old cots, we would usually take them into the house. These are a little heavier, but not unbearably so. We usually leave them outside the front door and bring the patient to the cot, either through, we have a chair with wheels, very small wheels that'll fit down hallways, and it actually has tracks on it to move up and down stairs. And so we generally use that inside the house.
Because some of these basements or,
Yeah.
I don't know how you get them out of there.
They
but
get
just
pretty tight.
Manhandling them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so.
Any questions?
My only comment is I appreciate the equipment use, transporting calls in South County. I just to emphasize that we really are thinking about what's going on down in the south end of the county, and it's always in the forefront of our mind. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely, and it is in ours too, so.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, Grant team gave it a good rating, it looked like. So, any other questions? And I would entertain a motion.
I would make that a motion to go ahead and approve that grant. So, and I guess the budgeted items will be talked about later. So.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead and make a motion that we go back into the Board of Commissioners.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next up would be Ms. Clauser.
Mr. Clauser, Comptroller. The item I have for the board is a follow-up on the Title III funds. We had to run through the process of publishing and take public comment for 90 days. Just needed to see if the commission received any public comment.
No.
Okay. Then I would request that we approve the outlined uses for the search and rescue backcountry and sign the resolution.
Okay, and this is Resolution 2025-25, which, as stated, outlines the uses for the funds. Any further comments or discussion on this?
No.
Okay, I would move that we approve Resolution 2025-25 as discussed. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
And have you heard any more about SRS and the
Other than the email
difficulties?
from NACO and requesting that elected officials get a hold of.
Yeah. Which our elected officials are not the problem.
Right.
So, okay, thank you. Dylan, well, you timed that just right.
I was running. Thank goodness for alarms.
I don't even recognize you now.
I'll go back and forth. We'll see.
Last week.
Good morning, Dylan Evans, landfill manager. Before you guys, I have another Department of Corrections contract for the women that we use for our hill cleanup and our hazardous waste days.
How's that been working out?
Wonderful. It's fantastic, and they're way cheaper than anything else, a lot more reliable. They have an officer that follows them around and keeps them on task, and it's been pretty fantastic.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen recently with the warm weather and the wind, it'd be a good side-by-side comparison. We'll have them start the first week of May. If you guys sign this contract, you ride around and look, and once they go through and have about a week or two to work on things, man, it really just goes back to looking like a mountain. You don't even know anything's going on up there, so.
Good.
Yeah.
So on this, I had Christie cross off. It still has bridge. It has landfill and bridge departments. And so, since we've split them, I just had her cross off bridge. That's on the second page. in the,
Okay.
Third paragraph right
Yeah,
there.
I did notice that we needed to make an adjustment to,
So
for the commissioner signature as well.
I just didn't want to make a commitment for another department.
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Sounds good.
No burning desires or anything?
I would entertain a motion then.
Not in this meeting.
Go ahead and make a motion that we sign the agreement with Idaho Department of Corrections for assistance at the landfill.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
While you're here,
Yeah.
would you tell these gentlemen about what you called me about yesterday, the demonstration, or did you already do that?
Nope, I was gonna reach out to him today. I was on my way when we talked. So, we are going to have a Posi Shell demo on April 16th at 3 PM. And that is something that I'm gonna come before you guys when we do our budget, is to request this machine. So what we'll do is we'll do a side-by-side comparison with the Posi Shell machine and then what we're currently doing with our scraper. So under our approved health plan, we have to put the landfill to bed every night under an approved cover plan. Well, this new cover plan, this alternative daily cover, is called Posi Shell. It's a bentonite clay mixture that shoots out like a hydroseeder, and it covers the garbage up and keeps windblown litter and vectors away from the garbage. And so side-by-side comparison, I have to ask again, it was about a year ago that I talked to these guys, but we're about $270 an hour to operate scrapers, and it takes a pretty skilled operator to operate a scraper versus this Posi Shell. So it'll be a much cheaper process to run to cover the garbage with, and it'll take a much less skilled individual to do it. And on top of that, the alternative cover plan is 1 foot of soil is what is accepted versus the Posi Shell, which is like the thickness of a piece of cardboard. So that airspace savings within the cell will mean like 2 to 4 years additional life, plus, like, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, like $14 million of airspace that we'll save over the life of the cell. So it's, I think, a pretty worthwhile ask for what it is.
And when's your demo?
April 16th at 3.
Get that on our calendars.
Yeah, I thought that would be something. When we were over in Twin, they're using it, and it's pretty amazing how it works.
Most landfills now have moved to this. It's not something new. Then it's already approved through Idaho DEQ as an operations alternative daily cover versus like a pilot study. There are other options out there, but they're not approved by DEQ. This one is. So it makes good sense, I guess. And I just figured you guys would probably have some interest in at least seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he called me about that yesterday, I said, we've got to make sure and invite these guys.
What kind of material do they spray out?
So it's a bentonite clay mixture, and it's actually a pretty cool deal without going away into the rabbit hole of it. But you can mix Portland cement with it, and you can shoot ditch banks and in any erosion
Yeah,
areas.
I've seen that.
You can get like the actual hydroseed material and hydroseed things. It's a really pretty neat deal.
Okay,
So it makes hard layers?
Mm-hmm.
Does that have any issue with leaching of the fluids on down?
It actually makes it better. So your methane gas production and your leachate production actually improves because of it.
Okay.
The problem with the dirt cover, especially the stuff that we have, is we'll build our floors out of it, and leachate comes through the garbage and hits those hard floors, and then it wants to migrate out. Versus with the bentonite clay, what happens is it allows it to migrate to the pipeline where it's supposed to go, so that way we can collect it and manage it.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
okay. Second thing on your agenda was the LDS Church Access Agreement.
They are in control of that contract, and I was not able to get the updated one. They're not gonna change it.
What'd you say?
That was actually crossed off.
Oh, it was crossed off?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
agenda.
Never mind then. Scratch that.
Sorry. I tried, but they weren't moving as fast as I was.
Okay. Well, that's it then.
Awesome. Thank
All
you
right.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Shanda.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shanta Kirstel, Chief Procurement Officer. I have 2 items before the board today. The first is the potential signature on a change order with Teton West. This change order doesn't have any money attached to it, but it is changing the substantial completion date. It was originally in April. It'll now be moved to May 4th. And I do want to make it clear that this does not mean we'll occupy the building on May 4th. That is the substantial completion for the shell itself. In talks with Daniel, we wanted to make sure there's some weather issues, right, that we ran through over the winter that's pushed delays in there. That's the need for the change to move from April until May. But we wanted to make certain that this wasn't going to delay any of the other subcontractors in there. And Dan's had conversations and is tracking that well. The items that we're pushing back that won't be until that substantial completion in May won't affect his interior stuff as they build out. They still are planning. He was down there yesterday. They still plan on pour the interior slab next week. So barring everything works out just fine, right, things will move forward as planned. But as far as Teton West contract goes, this is just needed for that.
I did talk to Kyle on Friday, and they hauled more gravel in there yesterday.
Yes. Yep. That's this week's task.
Okay, any other questions?
Sounds good.
Okay, take a motion.
I will make that motion that we go ahead and sign the, I guess, the change order.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Perfect. The second item I have before the board is a procurement update. Starting at the top of the dashboard with road and bridge items. The chip seal aggregates, that has been drafted and will be sent to road and bridge this afternoon. If we jump down to the road striping and paint, we have combined those two again, making it so the same contractor will both get the material as well as apply it for us. We feel there'll be some efficiencies in combining those two tasks, so we're testing it out this year to double check. I've received comments back and plan to have that live on Bonfire tomorrow. It will also be posted in the Idaho State Journal for the next couple weeks. And the final one is the diesel generator fuel tank for the detention center. Those bids are back in. They were opened. The review is complete, and we do plan on having a recommendation to award before the board on Thursday.
Okay. Any other questions for Shannon?
Nope, sounds good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is we have to, we need to ratify the signatures on Resolution 2025-24, which was the vehicle size and weight limits that we put in place last week. Any discussion on that? Okay, then I would go ahead and move that we approve or ratify Resolution number 2025-24. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Next is, we have authorization to dispose of some office equipment, office furniture for the courts, it looks like. Yeah, courtroom. I entertain a motion on that.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to sign the memo of disposal of assets out of the courts.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And that moves us to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda today, we have salary rate approval forms and certification of minutes for March 18th and March 25th. Any questions on the salary rate approval forms or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
With that, I'll make a motion, we approve the items on the consent agenda.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 And with that, we will be at recess until